hello there, and welcome to another episode of Ripple Makers. Charles Davis over here, Susie Cowan over there. Hello, Susie.
Hello.
How are you?
You know, living the dream.
I hear you on that. So in our continuation of teaching you about all the nonprofits, organizations in this town, we're going to dub this episode Summer Festivals.
Love it.
Because we love a good summer fun. And
we do.
In this town, music and film are two of our biggest assets when it comes to that. So on this show, it will be no different. We will have the current president of Bragg Jam on with us, Miss Olivia Walters of Bragg Jam, to talk about that event and what they do all year long.
Such a great event.
And then one of my favorite people in the world, the man who I can almost say made me close to who I am today, Jim Crisp with the Macon Film Festival will be here to talk about all of that. And he has a deep history because he's been here a while through all of that. So today's episode is going to be phenomenal, and you're going to learn so much.
I'm so excited to learn all the things.
It's going to be great.
I might be biased, but I truly believe growing up in the South is a genuinely unique experience. I'm Mark Ballard, and I'm hosting the Creek Media's new podcast, Genuinely Southern, where I'll be exploring all things Southern. From interviews with some of my good friends talking truly Southern traditions and sharing stories about growing up in Georgia, there is surely to be no stone unturned. I hope you'll join me for Genuinely Southern, brought to you by Carlisle Place at Home, only on StreamTheCreek.com. See y'all soon.
Anthony, we've done a lot of living here on the Creek over the past 10 years.
That's one of the reasons it felt right to launch our new podcast, No Dams, in celebration of the Creek's 10th anniversary. A behind-the-scenes look at our journey here at the Creek. The good, the bad, the stuff we probably shouldn't be sharing.
No Dams is a no-holds-barred look at our past and present. Completely uncensored, probably for adult ears only. Available only via subscription. You'll find No Dams on StreamTheCreek.com. That's No Dams. No Dams given.
No dams at all. Streaming July 8th.
Welcome back to the show. Now, Susie, out of all the stuff that we have talked about, trying to get you educated on all the things that make this great city what it is, I think we have run upon one of my favorites and one that you definitely have to know about, and that is Bragg Jam. And since you come from a city that does a lot of music festivals, I think you have to know about this one.
I'm very excited to learn more, for
Yes.
sure.
So we are greatly and happy to have in the building El Presidente herself, Olivia Walters, president of Bragg Jam, in the building. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so glad to be here. Every time I get to spend some time here in the Creek and with you, Charles, it's just a pleasure.
We got to make sure that Susie knows all the great things about
Yes.
all the people. So, Susie, jump this thing off.
Yeah, let's learn a little bit more about how Bragg Jam got started.
I'm so excited you're going to experience your first Bragg Jam.
Yeah.
It got started actually from tragedy, which is not something we always love to talk about, but it's important to know our history. Bragg had a band going. They just recorded an album. They were going to go on a tour. Big musicians in Macon. Everyone loved them. He decided before he was going to go on this road trip, he was going to take his younger brother, Tate, for a road trip before the tour. In Texas, they got into a car accident and sadly passed away. Macon got together in the best way they know how to, and they went to the Rookery and had a jam session. And that was the first Bragg Jam. That's why we have Bragg Jam every single year on the hottest time of the year, last weekend of July, because that was when the first one happened in 1999 at the Rookery. And from there, it became an annual thing. And then by 2003, they made it a whole concert crawl. And it just exploded from there.
It's very special the way the community came together, rallied around the music, but in honor of the Bragg brothers. Mm-hmm. So how did you get involved with Bragg Jam?
I moved to Macon in 2012, and I came from Nashville. And I remember when I moved here, I was scared. Like, how do you make new friends? My first week of living here happened to be Bragg Jam week. And, you know, Alex Morrison, John Roberts, they were like, you should go to Bragg Jam. It's going to be a ton of fun. And I went and immediately felt like, oh, this is home. I met so many amazing people that night. I let the music sort of just take over, and it united me with the rest of this community in ways I would have never imagined. And I think that's what Bragg Jam does. It's more than just music. It's more than just one-time night at a concert crawl. It's creating this community that sort of speaks through music. It's not just one genre. It's not just, you know, one type of person. it's a whole melting pot of the night, and I love it. I actually got involved with Bragg Jam in 2017, and it had become something that fed the ecosystem of making music. And, we have a rich music history, and Bragg Jam's a part of that music history, and we have to represent it in that way. We've created more events to represent more than that.
Yeah,
and
we've
got Second Sundays that happen every second Sunday on Coleman Hill. We do Soul Spots for First Fridays, where we hire local musicians to busk on the streets. We've created different competitions. We have Bragg January that happens. It's a battle of the bands, and the winner of that battle of the bands gets to open up the night on Capitol Stage. So they get to say, I got to open up before these national headliners. And so it's a really special moment. And that was
such a great addition to the lineup.
It was so much fun. And it's just a bunch of young musicians. They're going to be our next generation of musicians here in Macon. We hear about our history, but we need to create what's going to be that next historical moment.
Right.
I'm ringing the bell. That makes so much sense.
We continue to find new and unique ways to sort of create this environment in Macon to become that music city that other people are going to hear about.
Yeah,
That's
that
fantastic.
makes sense. All right, now, Susie, here comes the big part of this interview, because these are things, hope you have a pen and a piece of paper, because I need you to write some of these things down. All right, so for those who have never been to a Bragg Jam concert crawl before, what is what you would dub the Bragg Jam experience?
It's going to be several venues, but at each venue that day, you're going to see 3 to 4 different acts perform. So in one day, you get to see 40 different acts, all for the price of one ticket.
Yeah.
You need to do your research a little bit before you go into the concert crawl, because you can't see all 40 in one night.
I'm telling you now,
try.
Susie, it's impossible. Oh, I tried one year. No, it's not going to happen. Make a place to where an unexpected change can happen.
Yes.
Have your schedule. Definitely that, because you're going to want to do that. But don't be afraid of the unexpected. Oh, all of my friends are going to see this band right now. I'm going to stick to my schedule and I'm not altering it.
I'm a planner, man, and I always think that, I'm going to stick to my schedule. I'm very type A, but then, I will say all my best friends are all B personnel. They want to just
go with the vibe.
They want to go with the vibe.
Yeah.
And so I've had to teach myself, sometimes going with the vibe is a way better idea on Bragg Jam night.
It is, yeah.
That's how you discover your next big artist, because you might have not ever thought of going to see, in the past we've had
to me, it was Rainbow Kid Surprise. Jesus.
Yes.
Same brain.
Yeah, that was at the Library Ballroom. No one would have thought we should go see this band called Rainbow Kid Surprise at the Library Ballroom. And that show was insane. It was before anyone had heard of them.
Yeah.
And now they're doing major arenas. And that's crazy to think that this small band that's coming in that you hadn't heard of, I'm going to go follow the vibe, because I don't want my friends to abandon me, because I just want to go see this person that I already knew.
Exactly.
And then you could say, I saw Rainbow Kitten Surprise in the Library Ballroom, or Zach Brown Band. I don't remember where they played, but that was before Chicken Fried.
Yeah, it was. It was early in their career. Like I said, Bragg Jam has had a very good record of bands like that, and throughout the history of it. So that's the reason why this festival is so diverse and is always on the edge of, okay, who is this? They should get some shine. And then, like I said, next thing you know, they're touring all over the world.
Listen to the Spotify playlist we have. Dress comfortably.
That was you're following right down the line of what you need to.
It's the last weekend of July. It's hot. We live in Georgia. It's going to be very miserable outside, but luckily our venues are all inside, so you'll get that air conditioning break. Go stop and grab a slice of pizza or some wings at Piedmont. Make sure you grab a glass of water. It's a pacer system. It's a long night.
Yeah, it is. As El Presidente of Bragg Jam, what are your hopes for what 5 years down the line of what Bragg Jam looks like? What do those dreams look like?
I hope that Bragg Jam becomes the thing that feeds this next generation of music in Macon. And I want us to become known as a music city, because we are a music city. Again, it's supporting our local musicians, but it's finding more than just live shows. It's finding ways to support our local musicians through helping them record new music, helping them get certain training that they might need to make that next step for them. How do they find their agents that would get them on a tour?
Yes.
We want to help create something that really makes Macon sustainable in the music ecosystem and make us something that is well known as a place people want to stop to see all of our great, rich music history and our great, rich music futures.
Yeah.
So what kind of music can we expect to hear?
Bragg Jam represents Macon, so we try to make sure we represent a little bit of everything. So we're going to hear things from like Americana, but you're going to also hear some hip hop, some punk. Bragg Jam's all about discovering something that you might not have ever thought that you would have discovered.
I just can't wait. I'm ready for Bragg Jam now.
Wear comfortable shoes. For anybody that needs any more information about the organization, how can they get that?
You can get all your information at www.braggjam.org. You can also follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. Check us out. We're always available to hear from our fans.
As always, we like all the organizations to bring in a song. So, Olivia, president of Bragg Jam, what song did you bring in today?
Well, I decided, it makes sense to start where we all began. And what began it all was the Buckleys. And as mentioned, they get to open up the concert crawl every single year. So we're going to listen to the Buckleys.
And I'm just hanging here, wondering why a true lover's life is hard. Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Ripple Makers. Charles Davis, Susie Cowan here with you. And Susie, we've had a lot of guests here to teach you all the things about Macon, and I'm so glad that this is your first time that you're meeting the gentleman sitting to your right. Because, and as I said previous to this, I probably would not be sitting in front of you right now in these studios if it were not for him. The man sitting next to you changed the trajectory of my life. The founding artistic director of Theater Macon, but here today, talking about the Macon Film Festival, the one and only Mr. Jim Crisp. Jim, how are you?
I am absolutely great, Charles.
We're here to talk about the Macon Film Festival and to inform Susie about all the things that she needs to know. So, Susie, once again, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm so excited to learn more about the film festival. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, absolutely, Susie. I'm glad to be here with you.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about how the festival got started.
Well, I think this is a really important story, and a lot of people don't know this story because we're in our 21st year.
Wow.
Great. The festival is now old enough to drink.
It's going to be a whole lot more fun now.
What's really important about that story is that 21 years ago, our beautiful Capitol Theater on 2nd Street got beautifully renovated. Tony Long was the driving force behind getting that building renovated and saving it. And then he came up with the idea of we've got to do something in that building.
That's smart.
So he came up with the idea of the film festival. So that's how the film festival started, and the festival is still anchored in our urban center, which I think is important, and I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with it?
I'm not a snob about movies. I love movies. I grew up on movies. I grew up in the back seat or the back end of my parents' station wagon at the drive-in, and I of course was drawn to it because of the people I've known in the business. So I just gravitated to it. There was a vibe about it that was very exciting, and it felt like something really important is happening here in Macon, and it was. And I've been a screener in the documentary category, which I love.
Yes.
And that's another point that I would make is that the film festival does a fantastic job of having a broad variety of films and film types. We cover music, we cover documentary, feature films, LGBTQ films. We screen about 100 films. And these are films that audiences would normally never get to see anyplace else.
Yeah.
And they also get to interact with the filmmakers. And that direct interaction with the filmmakers is exciting. They get the backstories, they get the insights from the filmmakers themselves. Now, also, the other thing that I want to mention that I think is important that I discovered that I did not know about until the film festival did it is that out at the Museum of Arts and Sciences, we do something called the Full Dome. Now, in the planetarium, we screen films on the dome. Now, these films are specifically made
for
that venue, for screening on a planetarium dome. If you haven't experienced that, it is pretty wonderful.
It's a whole nother experience.
It is. And you know what it reminded me of? It kind of reminded me, in a way, of when I was a kid in the late 50s and Cinerama came out. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminded me of Cinerama in its uniqueness.
Yeah.
And the way visually you had a very different experience in watching a film that you didn't have anywhere else. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, when it's built for that.
So that's happening out at the Museum of Arts and Sciences.
Okay.
Mission of the Film Festival is to bring film, highlight the art form of film, and then I think also it provides a sense of camaraderie and community among film enthusiasts and people who are passionate about film.
Yeah.
That's right.
And not just big Marvel comic book films.
But
film.
That's the important thing. I think that's the thing too.
Yeah.
Even those actors and directors had to start somewhere,
That's
and
right.
this is where a lot of them do that.
That's
so
right.
on that same note, Jim, for somebody who has not been to the festival, kind of give them a bit of a view of what happens during the festival.
So someone can buy a pass to the festival and see everything.
Yeah.
The filmmakers come to the festival. We get to hear from them. We get Q&A, question and answer panels.
That's fun.
With the audiences, and those are wonderful. And in some years, we have had very big-name celebrity guests, like Burt Reynolds, Karen Black, Jack McBrayer, and, of course, our very own Carrie Preston, who grew up here in Macon.
I kind of want to jump, since you talked about the filmmakers being in town. Like, what have you seen their reactions be to coming to Macon and how they feel the experience has been for them in the time that you've been with the organization?
I will tell you my experience in talking to the filmmakers about Macon. They come here and they are astounded. They also are captivated by our town. Our streets, our buildings, our architecture, our vibe, our restaurants, our music clubs. Many of them have said things like, oh my gosh, if I'd known this was here, I would have filmed my entire film here.
Yeah.
Now, it's important for people in Macon to realize that Macon has become a major center for filmmaking.
Yes.
In case anybody didn't know or if they missed it, Superman was here filming just a week ago down at the terminal. That's very important because it's an economic driver. It pumps all kinds of money into our community, and not just into Macon, but it's a regional ripple effect. But I also think we have a very Southern flavor. I think we're driven by our hospitality, and we have a very strong and active board. Our volunteer base is very strong. If this festival went away, I think it would be enormously missed.
No, it would. Yeah, no, I can co-sign that most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely there.
So if there is potential sponsors out there or just regular people that want to get involved with the film festival, how do they do that?
Go online, go to our website, MaconFilmFestival.com.
We ask everybody, is there a fun fact that you can regale the people with about the Macon Film Festival?
My story mainly is our connection to our hometown girl, to Carrie Preston. Folks want to see Carrie Preston do some wonderful work. She is currently running in her hit TV show, Elsbeth. Yeah. And it's also streaming. I highly recommend it.
It's a good one.
I love dearly. I met her when she was 13 when I was at Macon Little Theater. And
she got married on Theater Macon Stage.
And she got married on Theater Macon Stage, and I officiated.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fun fact.
Yeah. I said, no,
I forgot about that
it's
one.
It's a lot of that. No, it's a lot of that. And I think it's things like the Macon Film Festival that I try to tell people, it reminds at least me and everybody else around here is that, yes, we have this deep music history in this town. Yeah. But if you really look at it, our TV, film, and theater and acting history is pretty good too when you look at the number of actors and actresses that have come out of this town. So it is an event and a festival like the Macon Film Festival that highlights what is being done, and then, as you said before, gives light to the future and let them know that this can be done.
Let's not forget that Macon is also home to some other people and has connections to other important people. Gray Henson, who's been on Broadway many times.
Tony-nominated actor.
Tony-nominated, grew up here at Macon, grew up on our stage. And Jack McBrayer is from Macon. And Jack McBrayer, of course, I mentioned, was attended the festival one year. Matthew Modine, we have a connection to him. He's a first cousin to somebody who lives here. Right. So Matthew Modine came here. He's one of my favorite actors, by the way. I love his work.
So good.
He's superb.
Yeah, he is.
Great actor. And also a great story about Burt Reynolds. The way we got him, the way we got Burt Reynolds here was because the brother-in-law of a local Macon guy, lawyer, works for Warner Brothers. He made the arrangements for us to get the number 2 print for Deliverance. Now that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
It's like in the art world, signed numbered prints. The lower the number, the higher the value.
That's right.
Same thing in the film world. So he arranged for us, this brother-in-law of a friend of ours in Macon, arranged for us to get the number 2 print of Deliverance, and that's how we got Burt Reynolds here. He was thrilled about that, and Tabitha tells me that he stepped out of the car when he got here and he said, "How in the hell did you get that number 2 print?" But it was why he came to Macon to see that print, and he asked Tabitha, "How is it?" And she said it was beautiful.
As it should be.
As it should be, yeah. So that's
fantastic.
That's a neat story because I think people don't think about that.
No.
So I think that's a great story.
It is a great story.
That is awesome.
And only could come from Macon.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
With every organization that comes in, we always like them to bring in a song that kind of signifies kind of the feel and the vibe of what the organization. So what song did you bring in to kind of show the vibe of Macon Film Festival?
Okay, I have an answer, and I'm a little embarrassed to share it.
Never.
But it is a film song.
Okay.
And it is my own personal all-time favorite song.
Okay.
And it is one of my favorite films based on a great book. And the song is Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's. The film soundtracks become the soundtracks to our lives because we all love films. And that is definitely in the soundtrack of my life.
You should never be ashamed for liking Moon River. That is a
Okay,
phenomenal
beautiful
song.
Good.
Like I don't care who does that song. Anytime I hear Moon, Frank
Also,
Ocean does a great version of
lyrics
the song.
written by a Georgian.
And we love that too. Once again, Jim, as I've always said, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everything that you do.
Moon River, wider than a mile.
All right, Susie. So that's that. Bragg Jam and Macon Film Festival all in one episode. To have both of them is absolutely great because what Bragg Jam is doing to cultivate live music in this town and to keep that energy all year long, not just for the concert crawl,
Right.
is an amazing thing. And
It really just shows the heart of the community.
yeah, it really does. And isn't Jim Crisp just the most amazing person in the world?
Absolutely, he is.
I mean, he's got so many stories. The stuff that he told today, he's got so many more stories than that. And so I just love having him on. And it just goes to show what this town is capable of doing, of highlighting local artists. And no matter what arts genre that you're in, Macon has a great job of doing that. So thank you to Bragg Jam. Thank you to Macon Film Festival. Thank you to Susie Cowan. And thank you all for listening to Ripple Makers. We will see you all next time.
Ripple Makers is a podcast by Creek Media, hosted by Charles Davis and Susie Cowan. This show is produced and edited by Big Hair Productions. Follow us on social media at Stream the Creek. Engage with us, like, subscribe, share with a friend. Be sure to stream this and more podcasts you may love at streamthecreek.com.